Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another Tapped Out versus video. So today we're going to be versing Tavern Trouble from last year against this year's Splash and Burns. Of course, these two updates roughly came out about the same time as each other, for their respective years. So let's start it off by just jumping into it. Why wait? So we have the Super Premium. So this is our first little category. Now, both events had a Super Premium item, and weirdly, they both had a costume for a pre-existing character. So obviously, we got Robin Hood Homer from the Tavern Trouble, and then we had the Swimsuit Brockman with the Void for Splash and Burns. Now, obviously, right off the bat, there's an extra item in the second thing, the Void. Now, I don't think the Void's amazing or anything. I think it looks kind of cool, although I just really am annoyed that they didn't make it a building. I think it's definitely justified in being a building, and the fact especially that it's a super premium combo item, I think that even more so means it probably should at the very least be a building. So I do think that is a downside, and the Swimsuit Brockman costume, I'm not that fussed on. I think I would say it's probably bad, especially for the price you're paying for it. It doesn't look exactly appealing, no offense, Brockman. And the animations and tasks and questline wasn't anything great either, so I wasn't thrilled with it. However, Robin Hood Homer wasn't much better. I actually don't know which I would say is worse. Robin Hood Homer was not only super premium, but also just a kind of crappy costume that didn't even fit into the event. Like, its involvement in this event was so random and out there, and it just didn't need to be there at all. They definitely could have substituted another character or even another costume instead of this one. It was so random. So for that reason, obviously, I'm going to be giving it to Swimsuit Brockman and the Void, although I don't actually like that combo that much. It is Super Premium's reversing, so it's always hard, but yeah, that's a clear winner there. Then we have our Premium combo. So this one's actually really, really tricky to me, because I think I adore this building, this slide. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite buildings of the year, to be honest. It's scaled correctly. It looks really bright and colorful. It pops out in your town. It's fairly easy to decorate. It's just a great building all around. However, poor Flaw, the character that comes there, is just such a lazy, bad character to me. I think the way he reads in the questline is so one-note and bland, and the character itself is just like a lazy parody character, so I just don't care for his character whatsoever. On top of that, his animations and his quest and his animations didn't blow me away. I think his questline was really boring, actually. So, yeah, I hate the character, love the building. And then we have, I've actually forgotten his name. That's really embarrassing, but Tipsy McStaggerers with the dude. Now, I think this dude was, despite me forgetting his name, I think he actually had a decent little questline, actually. I didn't hate it, and I didn't mind his animations, but he is overall a bit of a mediocre character to me. I mean, I can't even remember the dude's name, so that should tell you everything. Tipsy McStaggerers is actually not a bad building by any account. I actually really love the look of it. I think it's a Tapped Out exclusive building, but they really made it look nice. It kind of looks like a quaint, nice little, pub. So, yeah, I love the building. But who do I give the win to? I've just got to narrowly give it to him. I think really it comes down to the character, poor Flaw. I think actually downgrades this building almost, because 150 donuts is an expensive, that's a lot of donuts, especially if you, don't hack or buy donuts. 150, if you save that up, that's a lot of donuts. And I love this slide so much, I just don't think it's quite worth 150 donuts. I think Paul Flaw is actually worth nothing. Like, I don't think he's worth a single amount of donut. He's that bad of a character. Yeah, and it's sad to say, I really wanted to put this as the winner, but I think in my, in my sort of putting my logic brain on, I think I would have to go for this one. And it's annoying, because like I said, I love this building. Anyway, moving on. So now we come on to the prize track. Now, here's obviously the prize track. Now, I think structure-wise, I much prefer Tavern Trouble. I love the inclusion of new content and old content. I think that was a very smart way of doing it. Like the Bendy Elbow, the 5 o'clock somewheres, and the Ramen Coma, all very, very nice buildings. Really look, they look nice. I think Ramen Coma was a little bit, out there as an inclusion, but they tied it in decently enough. Colette, I think, is fine. Is the second to last prize. I think it works in the quest line. And the beer bottle fountain, I do wish was a bit larger, but it was okay. And then we kind of have, this quest line. It has a bundle, which is like awesome. But I just think the way it kind of starts, like you get a crappy costume, this really cool bundle, these coolish things, and then H2O. It's just Anyway, so first off, let's verse the character and costume. So we have Colette versus Swimsuit Homer. I wasn't a fan of Swimsuit Homer. I just don't think it was that great. It had some okay animations here and there. One okay animation. Colette, though, is just... Colette's a sweetheart. I do think Colette is a bit of a mediocre-ish character. I don't think she's terrible. I just think she's like a step above mediocre. Obviously, though, I'm going to give it to Colette. I'm not trying to say that I would always give it to a character over a costume. There are some costumes I adore, and they certainly could have made Swimsuit Homer a really, really cool costume. And if they made it good enough, I don't think it was... what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's entirely impossible that I would pick Swimsuit Homer. I wouldn't pick Swimsuit Homer over Colette. If they actually devoted a bit more to the quest line, had some decent animations, and actually just made the swimsuit look cooler. I just think they should have gone with the actual, OG Mount Splashmore appearance of Homer's costume. Then we have the buildings. We have these three versus H2O. Obviously, we've got a quantity issue here. There's more here than here. There's actually 3 more. Now, Bendy Elbow, I like the rustic kind of dainty, danky look of it. 5 o'clock somewheres, I think, is really, really cool. I love the sort of clock imagery on the building. And the Ramen Coma is just, I think, my least favourite of the 3, but still a pretty decent building. H2O, I think, is massively undersized. It should have been bigger. I think the scaling of this building is wrong. The way it's kind of presented in the show makes it look like this humongous, giant, ride, and I think it really should have been about the size of the tooth chipper that we already have in the game, especially because you're making it the final prize. I think that would justify it being the final prize as well. So obviously, this one's not even much of a debate. It's clearly going to Tavern Trouble's buildings. Decos. So the beer bottle fountain, I think it's a bit of a mediocre one for me. I just wish it's a bit bigger, but I don't hate it. And then we have all of the ones in Splash and Burns. Now the thing I have is I think the Wave Walker and the Devil's one, these two should have been buildings really, and I do think that's a disadvantage to the collection of decorations, because they really, both of these two should have been buildings. I'm cool with these 3 being decorations. They kind of make sense because they're like little kiddie rides, but these ones are like actual proper rides, and if you're making all the Krusty Land rides buildings, then why not make these 2 at the very least? But regardless of that, the quantity, and I really do love this combo. I just think obviously that one's taking the win for that. So the winner overall, it's a tough one, but it is just slightly narrowly Tavern Trouble. So we got 1 here for Splash and Burns, 1 here for Tavern Trouble, 1 here for 2 here for Tavern Trouble, and then 3 for Tavern Trouble, and 1 for Splash, 2 for Splash and Burns. I think 3 to 2. It is a close one. I think they're about like everything else. They're not. One's not like that great, better than the other. I think it is close, and definitely with this one, I think this combo is probably the closest one to me. Obviously, there's some clear winners, like when it comes to this. Obviously, that's the winning that, and that's winning that. But I did find this kind of deciding between these 2 combos very tricky. But let me know if you've decided, you have a different opinion, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.